Do we have the BGM looping here? We do, right?
Oh, yes, it should be.
Okay,
it should
okay.
As long as they can hear it, I can see the lines.
Okay, perfect. Hi guys! Oh, Amiya, hello. We sound a little bit different. We got some room verb going on.
It's very powerful.
Because my streaming space is actually not large enough to accommodate.
Yeah, where I'm staying is not good for stream.
So we have like a public like rented space.
Yeah, I use my CEO powers a bit.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so amazing how she can do that. But hello everybody and good morning. This is Tsunderia Tsunderia Spider Mama Amiya Aranha. Pam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Obake Pam, CEO of PlayAsia, and because I'm on travels, Amiya was nice enough to say that she'll meet up and do an off-collab, so I'm excited!
I'm excited too, but I'm also nervous, so I'm sorry if you can tell that I'm nervous.
It's okay, every collab, big nerves for me, I get it.
And this is my first time doing, of course, an off-collab. It's not your first time though, right? You've been doing
I did a few with Akka, which was really fun. But it's my first off-collab that isn't Akka. First outside PlayAsia one.
Oh my God, so excited!
Yeah!
Aga is so sweet. She's always like coming in and just saying the most unhinged stuff, and then
that's one way to put it.
I guess where should we start with this? So today our plans were to talk about. Oh my God! I wasn't gonna look at super chats today.
It's okay. Ami does, but it's nice.
What? No. I feel like I don't even know if we're like a foot apart actually.
Yeah.
So maybe we are close enough. I don't know. I don't smell. Ami smells good. Oh, and we have a different mic than normal too. This is like a Blue Yeti, so that I have it on podcast mode or whatever, so that I'm speaking from one side and then Pam's speaking from one side, so hopefully it sounds okay, other than the room verb we got going on, which we cannot do much about, but hopefully it's not too bad. You guys let us know if there's any kind of issues, okay?
Yeah, just imagine that the room verb makes it extra fancy. It's like an auditorium. You guys are in a big
idols.
audience. Exactly. We're real idols now.
We're idols, okay. So we're gonna talk about our experience studying abroad in Japan, and we actually have two pretty different perspectives because when Pam went, she was studying in like a very what's the word, metropolitan,
one of the biggest in the world. I have told my chat, so I don't really mind saying, but I've studied in Tokyo, so it's like the biggest of the big.
Oh my God, I actually I've taken trips to Tokyo. I actually kind of don't like. I don't know. It's like too many people. There's lots of cool stuff there.
To be fair, I was really lucky though. I actually lived in the countryside near Tokyo, so I took a train every day. But where I got to live, I could basically escape it whenever I wanted and go for like nice rural walks.
Oh, so you're like Hannah Montana. You got the best of I guess being a VTubers are kind of like Hannah Montana anyway. But
exactly.
You got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And I lived in a more rural area. I never said specifically where I live, but I will say that the region I lived in Kyushu. And maybe we can talk about like why we chose where we chose to stay.
That'd be really cool. I chose Tokyo because this is so bad. I'm really into a lot of Japanese music and stuff, right? And one of my goals in Japan, I wanted to go to Japan and like try to make friends that made music and stuff. I was like, I think it'd be really cool if I could perform live in Japan or make music friends, or on the really stupid good luck odd chance get a chance to do music professionally.
Get like scouted.
Yeah. I was like, that would be really cool. So I was like, I'm gonna just wing it and hope for the best and go to Tokyo, yay!
Yay! And okay, how did you feel about it? Was it like nerve-wracking because of the amount of people, or did you adjust to it pretty quickly?
I found that for the first week or so, I do remember when I'd go to school and stuff, I'd be pretty overwhelmed. Like, I've been in bigger areas before, so it's not like I hadn't seen anything like that. But it's a lot busier than like where the warehouse usually is based for me. So whenever I went out for a week, I remember I couldn't go outside without headphones at all to have music to make me more confident.
Oh, and then people are like. And then people are like, "Oh, she's wearing headphones. I'm not gonna bother her." You know?
Yeah, because
people try to talk to you.
There'd be so many people. I'd get like, it feels very small because there's so many people, right? So whenever I would be in a space with like all these people everywhere, I'd feel kind of claustrophobic. Like, oh my God, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere free. Like I'm just surrounded by walls, even though it's people. I'm also admittedly a little small, so.
You know, it's a good thing for that. This is kind of like a tangent, I guess, because I haven't even talked about where I was living yet. But Konbini, you know, like 7-Eleven, they're the same. No matter where you go, pretty much the same. And they all have a bathroom, and they're all like pretty quiet.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whenever I was like anxious, I would go to the konbini if I was like out in public, and I was like, this is too much. I just go to the
That's
konbini
kind of
and
big
hide.
brain. That's really a big brain.
Right? Because it's like, okay, you can put yourself in a state of mind where you're like, this is fine. This is the konbini right next to my dorm. I'm not anywhere scared right now because they all look so similar.
Exactly, good konbini vibes.
Good konbini vibes. Yeah. A lower intensity vibe. Yeah, it's usually pretty quiet, and I don't know. I like it. And then I buy snacks, of course.
Oh God, konbini snacks. Ooh, I got to go to at least one konbini so far on my travels, and what is the equivalent in the US? I think I spent at least like $200 on snacks.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I missed the snacks I used to buy. I went a little nuts.
That's fair. I'd be lying if I said I didn't spend like an exorbitant amount of money like importing some kind of snack. Like, I mean, even okonomiyaki sauce is like, it's like 200 yen, like $2 in Japan. And I pay a lot more than that to get it, to get it now. As far as where I lived in a more rural area in Kyushu, and the reason why I picked it was because I wanted to learn Japanese. And I knew if I was put in a situation where I was given the option to use English, I would probably use English. So basically my 100% reasoning for picking a rural area instead of a large area, aside from the fact that I'm, you know, a very anxious person and that I like smaller places in general, my biggest reasoning was I wanted to be forced to learn the language.
I feel like that's kind of a mistake a lot of people made about Tokyo to an extent. The other direction though, actually, a lot of people went to Tokyo thinking you don't need any Japanese and didn't study before their trip. But really, outside of my school, in my school, most people spoke English, but outside of the school, like you'd go into a store and people are like, oh yeah, everyone in Tokyo speaks English. No.
No, not in terms of speaking, but you know, like signage and stuff. Like if you go to the train station, you know, I feel like usually, unless it's a
you can get by at the train
area.
stations for sure. But if you're living there long term versus traveling, like it's going to be harder for doctor appointments and stuff. You're not going to find people that can speak English.
That's true. Is okay, somebody asked in konbini, is there hot water dispenser for ramen? I never used it. I don't
my
know. Ramen in the konbini, so I don't know.
Yeah, I lived across the street from a konbini, so I just bring it back.
Yeah, I think I would. Sometimes I got them to heat up my food. You know, they're like, "Atatamaemasu ka?" You can get your food heated up there. But I never used the hot water dispenser.
No, I buy the only hot thing I'd ever get from konbini is like the fried chicken.
Oh my god, konbini fried chicken! I used to get the 7-Eleven had this like American dogu.
Oh.
And then they had the little packets where it's like half ketchup and half mustard, and then you like split them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
They look so cool.
You know, and then you get both of them in equal amounts.
And it makes pretty patterns a bit too if you like twist them a little bit.
It's gorgeous.
I've never used one, but I've seen people make drawings with them, and it looks so cool.
Oh, I never did that. That seems like a no-brainer. I should have wrote. Well, I guess I couldn't have wrote bucko on it because I didn't know about buckos back then. I guess
it's just an excuse to go back now, though.
It is. But then I'm like, I'll be so tempted to stream while I'm there, man.
Yeah, you could get some like banger travel streams.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, on the subject of like learning the language, how did you feel when you got there in terms of like how long it took you to start being able to comfortably speak to people, or maybe you don't have to answer how long, or maybe you can just say, was it really difficult, or did you find you picked up on things really quickly?
It kind of depends on the context. In terms of like being able to go to the store and buy something or ask for help if I'm in public, it's pretty soon. I'd say in like a week or two, I was feeling decently confident about like asking for help, or if I was lost in the station, or like how much is this at the store. But in terms of having like personal social conversations, at least for me, that was one downside of going to a school rather than just like an area that spoke mostly English. Like if you find a rural school that's 100% English, you'll learn faster going to a school that's not all English. Because I would just talk to like my classmates and stuff in English. So in terms of like a social conversation, I never really learned how to do that. I think I only hung out with people that didn't speak English and used Japanese once. And I struggled a lot.
I see. So my situation was a little bit different because in my dorm that I lived in, there was not a lot of English speaking people. It was mostly people from other countries that didn't speak English, and they only spoke Japanese. So we were all kind of forced to like speak scuffed Japanese to one another.
Well, that's the best way to learn, even if it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and usually when you talk to Japanese people, they don't mind if it's a little scuffed too.
No, not at all.
They'll say "Nihongo joju" anyway. Oh, sorry,
Don't believe it. But also the confidence is nice.
It's nice. Sorry, I need to clear my throat.
Oh yeah, we both kind of slept in and roll out of bed, so.
Someone asked if konbini food was way more expensive.
I don't think so.
I think it's way cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be cheaper if you buy your own food and cook it at home. But in terms of like restaurants or convenience food, in the West at least, it's a lot cheaper and you get better food.
But then also, I don't really know because I don't have a 7-Eleven or anything like that in my area. So like,
I've had one and I think it was like around the same or slightly less, but the quality was not as
good.
good.
Is very different. Yeah.
In Japan, the quality of the food's really worth it. It's literally more close to restaurant quality, at least the fried chicken. That was the only thing I ever ordered. I can't compare it to anything else.
You had so much fried chicken. Why? I like hardly ever ate the fried chicken.
I loved it, man.
I had a lot of onigiri.
I've had every fried chicken product that was sold at every different konbini in my area while I was there. I didn't miss one.
Oh, stuff like gas station food can be comparable in price, but not quality. Yeah, the quality is much, much higher.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Somebody asked a question, but can I scroll?
Yeah.
Okay. We're on Pam's laptop, so I'm like less familiar.
We're using one monitor on a laptop.
I'm less familiar with what goes on.
And the program I'm making her use for chat's a cool fancy one, but she's never used it before.
It is fancy. I want to use it from now on because it tells me whenever somebody's new in the chat, so I can say hi and I won't forget who I said hi to already. Are the trains in Japan really as easy to get lost as it looks in media? Did you get lost?
It's not the trains that's going to be your issue. At least, I feel like this is a little more relevant for a Tokyo question. But it's not the trains, believe it or not. The train lines are really, really good, especially if you're using an app. I just used Google Maps, and it got me everywhere I needed. What is going to get you lost is the big train stations.
Oh yeah, the ones that have like, it'll be like
40 exits.
Higashiguchi, Nishiguchi, Higashi, it's insane.
Yeah, because like I lived near Ikeibukuro, right? And every time I got off the station, I could get to the station fine. If I was there, I could get to whatever other station I needed to be at. But the first week, it was the first day. This is so embarrassing. The first day of school was my language placement test. I was 1 hour late because I was lost in the station, even though I would have been over an hour early.
Oh my god, I was so paranoid about being. Oh, someone said we need to flip the meat. You can't see it, but we're flipping it. There's really meat here.
Every time I got out of the station, it was like the wrong end of the train tracks, and I can't just like run over the train tracks, so I have to go back into the station.
You can't leave.
It was so bad. I couldn't get out. Eventually, I memorized it, but it was bad. It's not every station though. Some are very straightforward. Like my rural station only had one entrance and one exit and one platform. But a lot of other ones like Shibuya, Ikebukuro, Shin Osaka is the worst one I ever remember. I went to Osaka and I was crying, and there were so many people that like they didn't even see me. They just bumped into me and I fell over. I was so embarrassed.
Oh, it's not your fault. Oh my
No,
god.
but then all these people like froze and got confused because they couldn't keep walking, and I was like.
Oh man, I would also. Don't worry, I feel like anybody would be embarrassed and like upset in that situation. That's totally not your fault. Oh my god.
Oh no, it was funny later, but in the moment, I just kind of wanted the floor to swallow me into a hole.
Oh. Pat. In the area I lived in, there wasn't that sophisticated of a train system. I mean, there was trains, but there was no like huge train stations.
Yeah.
So I never had the problem of getting lost where I lived. But then when I went to Osaka, I accidentally got on an express train instead of a regular train. And express trains have like they're faster because they're express, so they have slightly less stops.
Sometimes that slightly can be a lot too.
Yeah, slightly less as in like they have like 4 stops and the regular train has like 25 or something.
And sometimes depending on where you get on, if it's like the last rural stop, you get on it and then it doesn't have another stop for like 20 whole minutes.
Yeah, so that happened to me before where I got on the express train. And I told this story on my streams before, but I like went up to a couple and I was like, does this train go to this station?
Oh no.
And the guy was really nice and he was like, no, you have to get off and do this. And then the woman like, she like got mad at me.
Why? For asking directions?
Yeah, she was like, you have to really extra make sure before you get on the train.
Excuse me, lady, maybe I didn't know express trains were a thing.
So
you gotta watch for that Kyuko? Was it Kyuko? Sign on.
I don't know.
I think it's Kyuko. There's a kanji on the train that shows up in red usually, at least in Tokyo for express ones. It'll say Kyuko, I think. If it's that and you don't want express, like don't get on it. If you don't mind express, as long as you double check that your stop is on
is on there.
Just listen to what Google Maps tells you it won't lead you astray.
Oh man, it was so sketchy. But yeah, other than that, I would ride bikes a lot, so that's mostly how I got around. So
I never got a chance to ride a bike.
I guess in Tokyo it's probably harder.
We had an option actually to rent them where I was staying, but I just didn't do it.
Even if it took like 2 hours to ride my bike somewhere, I would take my bike there because I love riding my bike.
That was nice though.
So nice, except for if it's raining or if it suddenly starts raining.
Then that's rough.
I was in similar to you saying how you wanted to have some like musical kind of experience when you went. I was in a club in my university where we played like we would like form bands and play music and stuff. So I had yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I had a guitar and I would bring that guitar in a case on my back to my school by bicycle.
Oh wow.
So whenever it rained, I had to get like, cause guitar and water is not good. So I had to get like plastic bags and cover my entire guitar.
Oh no. At least you protected it. You managed to protect it.
And I looked cool. I know I looked freaking cool. I definitely looked cool riding my bike with the guitar on the back.
I tried joining a club like that at my school. It was actually for, believe it or not, J metal. But I went to one of their meetings, and they immediately said the spots for vocalists were full. But
That
I could
makes
join for
sense.
like drums or something, and I was sad. I never went back because I just wanted to sing.
I feel like most people want to be vocalists, so I feel like that makes sense. And J-Metal, that's crazy. Man, your school is crazy.
That's Tokyo. We have more options. There's a lot.
Yeah, in my case, I just wanted to join a music club, and I can play a lot of instruments, so I was like, I'll play whatever you want me to play.
I can play some, but like really scuffed and really bad. And I was like, I think I'd rather just run away.
That's fair. Especially metal, like that's different from because you like play flute you play flute on stream and stuff, right? But you can't exactly play flute in a J metal.
Okay, that could be kind of cool though. Imagine in the middle of a metal song, there's like some epic flute riff. That's my goal now. I want to make an original metal song with a flute solo.
That would be epic.
You can learn how to shred on electric guitar and you can play it with me.
Do you ever see the movie with Hilary Duff that's like what is it called? raise your voice.
I
And
think so. The music school one?
Yeah, and there's this one girl and she has a violin, but she like hooks it into an amp and she like puts distortion on her violin. We can do that. I can't play violin.
Emuri, Hiragi Emuri. We're gonna grab her for the violin.
Oh my god. And then I can play, I don't know, cat keyboard. I have a cat keyboard.
Cat keyboard. What's more metal than a cat keyboard?
Right?
Literally nothing.
By Japanese law, whenever someone carries a guitar on their bike with a plastic bag, the song Linda Linda is required. Do you know this song?
I don't know
it. I wish I did.
I know of it. I've heard the name a lot of times. I'd probably know it if I heard it.
I feel like that's an epic joke that's going over my head, and I'm so sorry.
I think it's just the tone of the song really fits the like aesthetic.
You need some like what's the band that did the music for oh god, Kimi no Nawa.
Radwimps?
Right, yeah, you need some Radwimps playing in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have a question about homesickness. If you're okay with talking about it, were you ever like, I need to go home? I need to go home right now.
I did have one pretty bad experience like that. It's a bit of cultural shock in one regard. That's something people sometimes talk about and sometimes don't. I got really sick while I was away.
Oh, no.
Like I couldn't breathe very well. I was overheating. I would constantly feel like I was gonna faint or fall asleep. I was like that for about a month actually. And I remember going to the hospital multiple times trying to get chest x-rays and stuff. They didn't ever tell me what was wrong. Like they would show me my x-ray and stuff and try to be like, you're fine. But they would never tell me what was wrong. They're like, they'd just be like, kaze desu, and I'd be like, I don't know about that. But they'd be like, kaze desu kedo, and then they'd give me like all these medications. I think I was on 3 heavy medications at once at one point. But they'd be like, it's just a cold, but you have to take these. It's really bad if you don't take these, but it's just a cold. And I'd be like, can I stay home? Because my school had a rule where you fail a class if you miss more than 3 classes. Right?
What?
Yeah. So I would be going to school trying not to pass the fuck out all day, trying to do my homework while I was like delusional from fever, and it was just bleh. And I just wanted to like go home and cuddle my dog.
Oh my god, I totally understand that. That's so stressful.
Oh
my god.
I think that was the only real time I felt super homesick, was just dealing with like medical stuff. Some of it is specific to Japan, just kind of like the expectation that you still have to go to school and stuff, but a lot of it is just if you're abroad in any country and you suddenly get sick, it's kind of jarring.
Yeah, it's not comfortable.
No.
You want to be in your like comfortable place, and sometimes I guess it feels like you don't really have that. I don't think I ever got super sick. I had to go to the dentist once.
Oh no, that would have been really hard.
But my guidance counselor from my school went with me.
That's so good.
Yeah. So she was like, are you having any problems? Because we did these like meetings. So she was like, are you having any issues? And I was like, my one tooth kind of hurts. And she's like, let's go to the dentist right now. So we went to the dentist right then. And they like took x-rays and stuff, and they said there's nothing wrong with your teeth, but it's possible in the future you could have something called periodontitis. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll deal with that when I get home. Like if it's gonna be a problem. And then my dentist at home was like, you're not gonna get periodontitis.
They were just being a little extra cautious, I guess.
So yeah, I never went to like the doctor except for like mandatory medical stuff, because there's like regular checkups that you get.
They're supposed to be really, really good too. Like if you can speak Japanese fluently, the medical system and checkups are supposed to be really good. But I wasn't in that situation either. I had to beg friends for help, so I also avoided for regular stuff.
Did the dentist compliment my fangs? No, they were uninterested in my epic.
They have bad taste then.
Oh, also, I think I'm accidentally using an older version of my model, but I still have teeth, right? Can you see it?
Still teeth. I see the teeth.
I still have teeth. Okay, perfect. Okay, I guess now is a good time to ask if anybody has any like questions or on anything we said so far, because I've been kind of going on, stream of consciousness and getting into new topics, and
I have a quick question while we wait for other questions to come in. What's the weirdest thing you did while you were in Japan?
The weirdest thing I did? What do you mean by weird?
Just something that you did that was like really unexpected. Like, I don't know, you found a bug that looked really weird, or you got to go to somewhere cool. Just something out of left field, I guess. Or unique, really, really unique.
I guess my parents came to visit me.
That's so nice.
And that was kind of a weird experience because, you know, someone says the BGM didn't loop. I can fix that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I canceled the loop and we did not notice for an hour.
Oh, how do I get the chat thing back? Is it this? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, my parents came to visit me, and that was like a little weird because I was there for a number of months at that time, so I was like their kind of tour guide.
Oh, that sounds so fun though.
So I had to but then I got to impress them with my Japanese skills and stuff. But it was the weirdest part was my mom kept trying to speak Japanese to people.
Oh no!
So she would ask me, "How do I say this?" And I would be like, "You say it this way, but please don't try and say it, please." And then at the end. And then we would leave a restaurant. She would be like, "Go shama deshita."
No. I mean, it's cute that she's trying, but
no, it was super cute, but it was a little embarrassing. It's like the worst possible.
I can imagine. Oh God.
So I guess the answer is I didn't really do anything weird, but I feel like my parents, my mom did.
Oh no. I had one really weird experience. I was looking for an Ace Attorney collab cafe, right? So I was with a friend at the time. We walked into the building that we thought it was in, and we walked into the room. We went up, I think, 4 flights of stairs, but everything was dark and all the doors were locked. We found one that was unlocked, and I was like, okay, it's gotta be here. So we went into that floor, and there was one other door in it, so we went in there. And there was this random shop with dim lights and no music, and this guy just staring you'll see what I mean. I don't know how to explain this. Hands like this on the desk, and he was selling a bunch of merch that was, I don't know what these characters are called. Some of you guys might know. They're ugly mushrooms or something. They looked like mushrooms, but they had really detailed butts and stuff. And I just walked in, and he stares at us and laughs, and we just walk back out without saying anything.
He was like, "This is not what you're expecting, huh?"
We just leave. And I thought I hallucinated this for the longest time until I found those characters for sale, merch of them somewhere else, and I was like, it was real.
I think I would not leave my place of living for the next week.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly cursed.
It was pretty bad. We found the cafe eventually, but
good.
It was not good.
Someone asked, how are your classmates towards you? So I guess I have a question. Were you mostly with other exchange students, or did you have classes with Japanese students as well? If you're okay answering.
I had some classes with Japanese students as well, but those classes were actually taught in English. Yeah. And then for the rest of my classes, it was with the foreign students that I had classes that were only Japanese because they were all at our Japanese level. But then the ones I had that were mixed with local students, they were at all in Japanese. All in English, because then we would kind of help them practice and stuff as well. And we could actually learn rather than trying to take classes when we don't understand too much. So it was kind of, I don't know. I feel like everyone was pretty okay. I wasn't very good at connecting with other students in general, so it's kind of hard for me to comment versus other people.
I'm exactly the same way in terms of not being good at connecting with other people, but I found that in general, in class and stuff, some people were a little, not cold, but a little bit
standoffish maybe.
Standoffish or reserved.
Yeah, they don't mean it in a bad way though, it just happens.
Yeah, I think people are just also very shy, you know.
Probably the same as us.
Yeah, a little stiff. That might be a good way to put it. Do you talk with your hands a lot? I haven't been noticing.
Yeah, I haven't today because I'm specifically trying not to by digging my hands into my arms.
No, it's okay. You can go nuts.
I usually go crazy.
But then when I joined my club that I was in, everyone was like so much more relaxed with me and like treated me like a close friend, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a very, very different experience. And
That's what I was gonna say too. Like, I think a big thing, if you're going to study abroad and you want to make friends, make sure you join a club. I didn't, and I think that was my biggest mistake.
Yeah, because otherwise, a lot of the people, a lot of my study abroad peers were mostly friends with other exchange students, and that's kind of something I wanted to avoid. Of course, I was friends with my fellow exchange students as well, but
You don't want to limit.
yeah. Oh, someone asked, did you all check out arcades and music stores or tech stores often? Your face.
I was
She was
pretty
so
bad
excited.
for stuff like that. I mean, I would pass the big Ikebukuro arcade almost daily. So I would very often pop in for like one round of DDR and then I'd go like every other time. And music stores I didn't go to quite as much, but I regret not going to Tower Records because I know they do a lot of cool performances and stuff, and I wished I would have went to them more. I do know.
Especially in Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, I do know one thing someone showed me about music stores though that I think is pretty cool because you can't do it so much here is like renting CDs.
Renting?
Yeah, I went into so many places where you could just like rent a CD for one day and then people would like burn them on their PC and then take it back.
But can't you? I feel like if you go to like Book Off or whatever, CDs are so cheap there anyway.
True. Book Off was lovely. I would buy so much manga.
Oh, I went every day.
Yeah. I found the mushroom character, by the way. If anyone wants to know what these cursed things are called, it's hold on.
Oh yeah, someone mentioned it in chat. I was just gonna show
Kogito
you.
Dukan. Yeah.
They're very creepy. You guys look it up if you don't. I don't think I can put a picture on screen right now, but look it up. Kogito Dukan.
It's so bad. It's so terrifying.
I'm sorry, my throat is so hoarse today.
No, me too. You're good.
I'm gonna take a drink.
Did you go to any like cool music or tech stores or anything like that?
Oh, I went to when I was in Osaka. I went to Super Potato.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Super Potato was like retro game store, so that was awesome. But things were kind of things were a little bit overpriced. So I thought when I actually wanted to buy retro game stuff, I would usually go to Book Off or something because they have that stuff too.
There is one place I'll recommend if you ever go back or for anyone else to find retro games or retro anime stuff in general. Nakano Broadway. Like, don't go to Akihabara, go to Nakano Broadway.
Oh, the place, yeah.
Nakano Broadway has so many retro game stores and like retro anime merch stores. It's great. It's like a treasure trove for if you're interested in older stuff or really obscure stuff.
I'm interested in older stuff. I went to Denden Town in Osaka, which is like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a similar vibe to Akihabara, I guess, but it's more technology, tech oriented. So that was cool. Arcades, I don't know. You guys know I'm a sucker for like surprises and like UFO catchers. So I didn't play the games as much, but I did like the prize catching things a lot because I have a problem.
I managed to only play one of them once, and only because I told myself I will play this once to say I did or we have a problem. So I only did it once.
I did that with like the rhythm games. I played a lot of rhythm games.
I was bad for those. I spent too much money on my rhythm games.
Yeah. Oh, someone says, how did you manage to overcome the anxiety of having to communicate in a non-native language for survival? Every time I have to do that, I feel like I'm drowning. For me, you have to.
It's kind of it. You have to. You don't have a choice. You put yourself in a situation.
Yeah,
where
it's that or you just don't talk.
Yeah. Also, things like Google Translate are really helpful. You can't rely on them fully because they can make mistakes, but if you have like a minimal knowledge, mixing that with a translator can be really helpful in a pinch.
Yeah, sink or swim. Exactly. How much does it cost before the clerk takes pity on you? I think I was trying to get a Goku figure once. I think I spent $30.
That's not too bad.
And then the clerk came over and was like, let me help you with this.
That's actually pretty decent pity.
No, but then you go to, it was in Akihabara, right? So then you go to the store next door and they're selling it for like 500 yen and you're like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I was paying for the experience.
The experience is fun though, sometimes. You just need it.
I never had school uniform. Just
No, me neither.
normal clothes.
There's, I think a decent amount of them don't have uniforms. Like, sometimes they do, but I feel like it's sometimes more a private school thing. Like, some public schools do, but I know at least one person like mine I can't speak on too directly, but I know at least one person who went to a public high school that didn't have any uniforms.
Yeah, so that means I went to like, do you know 2nd Street?
Yes.
Or like Mode Off. I went to those places a lot, these like secondhand clothing stores. And it's like, I don't have any of these in my area, but I guess in some places there's stuff like Plato's Closet and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Where you can like sell them clothing and they won't take it unless it's good quality. I think that's, or unless it's in good shape, I should say.
Yeah.
And I think that's what most of the secondhand stores I went to in Japan were like.
Yeah, it's really good quality. Like,
Yeah.
I think I don't think I bought any new clothes actually. The whole time I only bought used stuff at like Mode Off or what's it called? Closet Child.
Closet Child? Oh, I did not have one of those. But yeah,
Good,
I
because
went to,
it's dangerous.
I went to 2nd Street a lot and Mode Off. Oh, and also, what was I gonna say? Oh, Uniqlo. I would buy stuff new from Uniqlo a lot because I love Uniqlo. So simple, so
I was too much of a cheapskate. I looked at their prices and I was like,
They
nah,
have really
man.
good sales, though. They have really good sales. At the end of all the aisles, they'll have these like pallets where they have a bunch of different items, and it's I have to check on the time because your the time on your laptop is not.
Oh, what's wrong?
Not what I have
Oh,
on my phone. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
did not change it from when I was visiting Aka. I forgot to change it to the time zone here, so it's wrong entirely. Whoops.
How many times per day did you get called cute in Japan?
I'm not very good at noticing things like that,
Me
so I can't
either.
say I noticed anyone say something like that unless I did something really stupid.
Yeah, if I did something really stupid or clumsy, my close friends would definitely be like,
kawaii, and I'd be like, nah, yada.
I'm not kawaii, I'm just dumb.
Yeah. Like if I make a mistake, if I'm late for school or something and I got on the wrong train or got lost, like my teachers would be like, shogunai, and then my classmates would be like, kawaii, and I'd be like, no.
That was one thing that I was always, well, at first I was really worried about it. Then I realized that people don't care as much as I thought because, you know, if you're how do I say this? If you're an exchange student, if you're a foreigner, some things people are a little bit more lenient about, like being late.
Yeah.
So at first, my Japanese teacher always told me that the worst thing you can do is be late, even if it's like a minute. Even if it's like just a minute late. If you're late, that's like terribly disrespectful. And then my first day of school, I had like a meeting and I was running late. And it was terrible. I was like running down the road and I fell over and I skinned my knees and I dropped my coffee and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna walk. Oh no. And then when I got there, they were like, that's fine. Other people aren't here also yet.
Yeah. I feel like that is one difference with Tokyo though to an extent. Like Tokyo is very much a go city. So like if you're late in a very fast-paced city, it's especially a problem. Like whether it was for school or for like a booking, because I would often book like the one thing I really liked about Tokyo, there's recording studios but anyone can book them. So I would go there and just sing for fun whenever I got overwhelmed, because it was cheaper than karaoke. I think it was like $6 an hour. I just go sing.
Yeah, I did that but with karaoke. I was going to karaoke alone. Oh, someone asked, did you have a favorite tour spot you visited? If too local, obviously feel free not to answer.
I do actually have one. I visited. Have you guys seen Higurashi no Nakokoro ni?
Yeah.
I went to the town it was based on. It's so good.
What town is that? I don't.
In real life, it's called Shirakawago.
Shirakawago. Oh, like so, like the background imagery was based on that.
From the opening, the video show, the shot that overlooks the whole town. That's a real overlook thingy. Like you can stand there. I took photos from it.
Oh, that's so lovely. I guess I went to
Did the house feel creepy? It felt kind of really neat.
Wait, you saw the house?
No, yeah, the house that they actually have all the houses in the show are based on real buildings there. So like if you go through, you can see like where Satoko and Rika would live. They have their shrine, and the house that the Sonosaki mansion is based on is real, so I got to go in the Sonosaki mansion.
I say this with the utmost love in my heart because I am also one. You're such a weeaboo and it's adorable. It's okay. I'm the same way. I don't think I ever visited. Oh, I did visit a place like that, but I will tell you after because it is kind of local.
Okay. I'm excited to hear.
I was gonna say for tourist spots for me. I went to. I really liked going to onsen. So my clubmates and I went to an onsen in Nagasaki, and it was like outside. It was in the mountains, and there was like flowers in the water and stuff. It's supposed to be good for your skin, and it was so nice. But then, every time we went into, there's like these like indoor ones you can go to, and you can adjust the temperature of the water and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would always add a bunch of cold water because I'm very sensitive to temperatures, and then my friends would make fun of me because it was too cool. They were like, no.
How about our onsen? I've been curious because like you see all the steam coming out, but like when I have a bath, I don't think I see that much steam.
The
like,
steam,
do you just boil alive?
Is very, very, very hot.
Oh,
very hot. But I don't know. People survive it, so I'm like, I guess it must be.
It's supposed to be relaxing to people who don't feel like they're dying. I'm also sensitive to heat, so I feel like I would just take one foot and be like, nope.
I am too. And then there's also there was like a sauna. I almost said sauna. There was a sauna too that you could go in after, and that was also really super way hot. So I had to keep leaving and then like wetting my towel in the cool water outside of the sauna and putting it on my face. Oh, that was so nice though. You feel so relaxed after.
And I do kind of regret not ever trying an onsen. I just never really. Wait, no, that's a lie. I had one opportunity to try an onsen. We were on a school trip in Saitama. Actually, believe it or not, we were on a trip to the town that Anohana was based on.
And I love that show.
We had the choice to go in an onsen or to try like a full course fancy Japanese onsen meal. But, like we didn't have long enough to eat the food and go in the bath. We had to pick. I went for the food.
No.
I'm very much a food person. I'm easily motivated by
That's so sad that
eating.
they made you choose. It's also, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable too, I guess, because you know.
Yeah, we weren't actually told in advance.
Onsen is onsen.
Like we didn't know that there was going to be an onsen stop. They just showed up and was like, anyone who wants can go in the onsen. And a lot of the exchange students were like, you want me to just get naked?
Just
like
get
naked without having any time to mentally prepare. Like, excuse me.
But that happened to me too, where it was like kind of sprung on me, because like I went on another trip where me and it was like a field trip, and the students stayed in like a hostel, and the only way to bathe in the hostel is like public bathing area. So it's either you do that or you stink. So I had to get used to it.
That is one thing too about hostels in bigger cities. You want to check in advance because some hostels or even hotels, they don't have private showers. Like they'll only have the shared one. I always ended up staying in ones that had private showers just because Tokyo and Osaka are a little more catering to people who like privacy. Just because like where there's so many people, a lot of people would rather a capsule hotel with like less space, more privacy than a big shared space. But it's not always the same mentality.
Yeah, did you ever stay in a capsule hotel?
I did.
Was it cool?
I thought it was pretty okay. Like it was really neat. I like small spaces, so I felt very comfy. The showers were actually like huge and luxury. Like I felt like the shower was the nicest part of the capsule hotel I was staying at. But the one thing I did not anticipate is the noise. All I could hear was people around me snoring. I couldn't actually sleep. I was up the whole night.
Yeah, you would kind of think it would be soundproof with how close together everything is.
There's not actually a door for the capsules. You usually just pull down the curtain. There's not actually a door. That's why they have women-only capsule hotels at times.
That kind of is like a hostel experience then. Like,
they're basically hostels, but instead of having a bed in an open room, you get more privacy. That's a really good way to look at it. Very similar vibes.
Fascinating. I never wanted to stay in one because I don't know. It's like an interesting novelty, but
if you don't have to, it's not ideal for most people. I didn't have a choice because I booked my trip to Osaka the day before because someone I wanted to see was doing a concert, and I went nuts and bought scalper tickets.
Oh, I definitely did.
I was desperate.
Did you two ever have a chance to go and experience Natsumatsuri?
I didn't. Did you?
I did. I went to a couple fireworks festivals, and I wore yukata, and it was very, very nice. And I told this story, but I got yakisoba, and they used spaghetti. And I was so upset because I was so upset to have my first real festival yakisoba.
And it's a lie.
And it's a lie. The yakisoba was a lie.
I think I did go to some matsuri, but I was always like by myself, just walking through the park, so I never got to like do matsuri stuff. I got to see a couple bon dance, but I was too shy to participate, so I just kind of like kept walking.
Awa odori.
Yeah, I went to some, and I saw fireworks once, but I was more so like just going for walks, and then I happened to run into them. Yeah,
that happens
I
a lot.
can't say I went for the full experience.
You're like, oh, there's some kind of festival just going on right now.
I got to wear yukata once, but it was an anime festival, and it was related to a cosplay, so
That's fair.
I don't think that counts. I don't think that
it
counts.
does.
It was a festival in summer, but it wasn't like a matsuri. Does that count?
I feel like it does.
I went
It's
to the
a Matsuri.
weeb version of the matsuri.
We have like, I think maybe 20 more minutes before we need to start packing up. People were asking about concerts. How was going to concerts? Did you ever go into like, in the ones I went to, they always had this Joshi Kona, where it's like an area just for women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you not have that?
No. At least I couldn't read, so I didn't know it existed. I'm not good with like the kanji unless I know what I'm looking for. I also I'll refrain from saying that one. It's like doxing, so I'm gonna avoid that one.
Oh yeah.
I did go to 2 concerts though. I went to Hatsune Miku concert, and then I went to Yosei Teikoku, which is like a J metal band. They did the opening for like Future Diary.
So those must have been huge venues.
Oh wait,
right?
I went to 2 classical concerts as well, so I have like all types of concerts.
Oh my god.
The classical concerts were really chill. The metal one, if you're going to a metal concert, I'm gonna warn you right now, a lot of people dress up to fit the venue. Like I showed up wearing all pink frilly stuff. Everyone was in like all black and red, some with like heavy makeup, some cosplaying the singer, and I was just in the audience like,
So you, like,
the only
double stood
foreigner
out.
covered in pink.
You double stood out. Oh yeah, did people mosh? Were people like,
Well, people were moshing in the front, only in the very front though. I think it was like maybe some people they were allowed to. I kind of stood in the very back. People were like doing fist pumps and like not with actual glow sticks, but there were towels. Some people were swinging.
Someone
It's
says
fun.
that's gap moe, Pam. Yeah, but if you don't want to stand out and then you go to somewhere
No,
and then you
it's
find out you're
humiliating.
double standing out.
That's really awkward. At the Miku concert is very much what you'd expect from videos. People screaming and dancing with the light sticks. Basically, what I can say about concerts is that the vibe is going to be 100%, at least from my experience. Like,
Yeah, in my case, so where I lived, there was more smaller venues. So it was probably a little bit different than what you experienced. One was even like a live house and not even so much of a concert venue. And I saw I guess I won't say directly who I saw,
Nice.
but it was an idol concert, and I went, and then afterwards there was like a handshake event for free for no reason, and I was like,
they're
this is
free
pretty
for free?
cool.
Handshakes for free?
Yes.
They were not free in Tokyo.
And I think it was because of the size of the venue. They were like, okay, there's not that many people here, so you can just,
Yeah.
you guys can just,
So I went to
can't.
a live house. One second. I went a few times. One of my friends worked there actually, because she was doing like idol stuff there as a foreign chica idol, and I would go in, and there'd only be a few people, but like despite it being really small, the stage was like right next to me. Like the room we're in right now, that was like the size of the whole live house. There's a stage and then some people cheering.
Wait.
Yeah, it was really
This is
small.
very small.
It was really hot because it was so small. But like the crowd would be almost right next to the stage, but they'd be like jumping and screaming. Like the energy was just as much as if it was a really big venue. And then you'd go out in the hall and they'd have tables for handshakes, but they would charge you. They'd charge like for a handshake and then charge for a photo and then charge for an autograph, but it'd be all like different charges.
Oh yeah, usually it's like you have to like buy a single, and then in the single there's like a ticket for a handshake event or something like
that makes
that.
sense.
But someone says free COVID. This was long before COVID.
Oh, this was way
a
before
thing.
that.
Jealous of the idols. Shut up. Stop it, you guys.
Usually people are jealous of the fans. This time they're jealous of the idol. They want that Ami handshake.
I guess you can take just any more random questions because we don't have a ton of time because we're in a room that we kind of booked. So if you guys
But
have
fun.
it's really fun. And if you guys have any kind of random questions or whatever, feel free to ask before we wrap up. Sorry, it was kind of short. It's a weird situation because I don't have room in my streaming area. So.
Where I'm staying didn't have as much room as anticipated, so I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we were a little limited on space, so then we had to like book somewhere. So, are you two eating lunch together? Oh, actually, Pam brought me snacks.
I brought snacks. I'm giving the same snacks that I forced Akko to try. I brought more.
Did you eat a lot in the small food cart places? Oh, like street food?
I didn't actually. I don't think I only had dango at one. That's the only thing I ever had.
Oh yeah,
one
I did
dango.
that a lot. Dango and like the sweet potato. That's just like it's just like
I
a
could
roasted
never
sweet
find
potato.
a sweet potato truck. I always wanted to try one. I bought the sweet potatoes and cooked them on my frying pan and pretended that it was.
Sorry if I missed it. How long did Pam stay in Japan? Oh, I don't know if that's something.
I stayed around half a year.
Okay. Yeah, I was there for 1 year. Let's see. No, Ami handshake. I'm sorry. Here, I'm gonna. That's me tapping the microphone. I'm just scrolling for questions.
One thing too that I think I'm curious. Did you stay in a dorm or did you?
I stayed in a dorm, yeah. But it was more like an apartment.
Yeah, same.
Building, to be
That's what I was
honest.
gonna say. The dorms, like if you have a North American dorm experience, from what I've heard my friends talk horror stories about, don't worry, it's very different for the most part. Dorms in Japan are more like private apartments. So like they're really nice. Don't shy away from the dorm experience.
Yeah, the dorms are way nicer than anything I've seen in North America. So in my case, my dorm was like, it was 3 bedrooms and then a main kitchen area and then a shared bathroom. So it was 3 people sharing a bathroom and a kitchen, and then we had a big kitchen on the main floor and also bathrooms down there.
Yeah.
Speaking of bathrooms, someone asked, how easy is it to avoid the floor toilet?
That depends. How was it for you?
For me, okay, there was a lot because my school had a lot of older buildings. So one of the buildings that I worked in, like my job, the bathroom there was a floor toilet. So I used one pretty much every day.
I had to use one a few times. Sometimes if there's a big washroom, if you're in like Shibuya Station or something, you wait in line and then you get to the end of the line after waiting for like 15 minutes. You kind of have to take what you can get, even if the only free one is a floor toilet.
Yeah.
So I've had to do that a number of times at like Shibuya Station or something. I think the only other time I remember, at least vividly, having to use one, I was up in the mountains in Saitama, and I just walk in, and this is the first time I encountered one too. There was a floor toilet, but the building was really old, so it felt kind of more like an outhouse than a bathroom. And the floor wasn't clean. There were things on the floor that should have been there. And I was just like,
I would be lying if I said I did not witness a similar situation.
And I had to like carefully find places to step so I could use it.
Oh my god!
And then like the whole experience was a nightmare.
Oh man. Oh, someone asked, any advice if you want to study abroad? I guess it's kind of hard to give specific advice about that because it depends on whether you're going in, high school or university, and it depends on your school. If it's university, your school will probably have a program for it, and they will help you get set up. And then the most important thing to think about is where you want to go and how you're going to manage funds and money and stuff like that, because I had to have a certain amount of money set aside before they would even let you consider to
That's kind of
study
harsh
abroad.
though,
It's
because I feel
harsh,
like
yeah,
what
it's
about people who get scholarships and don't know yet if they'll have it, because like they need to know if they're studying before they can get it.
There's actually loopholes
That's
around
rough.
it. Like if you can, sometimes if you can like show that the funds are in your account, but not necessarily that they're your funds.
That's true. Because I was definitely more on the like if I get a scholarship I can go. I was very lucky in my case and I got something that covered my school's like I had to obviously pay for my food and stuff, but like I didn't have to pay for where I was staying or my flight or anything. But I wouldn't have been able to go if I wasn't in that situation. So I was just like, how do those people deal?
Yeah, and I ended up getting a scholarship when I went, so that was very, very helpful. But I had like the bare minimum amount of money that they asked for.
Yeah.
At first, weirdest experience that could only happen in Japan. For me, having to bring garbage home.
Yeah.
Because there's like a surprising lack of.
There's almost no public garbage
cans unless you're
unless it's bottle recycling.
I was gonna say unless it's by like a what is it called? Vending machine. Jidohanbaiki. Unless it's by a jidohanbaiki, then there's no like
there's no garbage
or anything. So
it really shocked me too. Yeah. Because I remember I didn't really have stuff on me to take my garbage home. I just had to carry it in my hand or in my pocket.
Oh,
at first, and I was like,
convenience stores usually do actually, but I don't know. For some reason, you don't think of that.
I feel like it's rude to use the konbini one, so I just
True,
never did.
Just for your own personal garbage.
Yeah, just walk in, use the garbage, leave.
I think we have to start wrapping up so we can get packed up. Sorry, my voice is very hoarse today, you guys. I just rolled out of bed. I guess any last word? Last word sounds very ominous. Any things you want to say about your next week of streaming or anything that you have going on?
I just want to say I'm grateful for making time for Off-Collab. It's so fun.
It was so fun. Thank you. I'm really happy too. I was very nervous, so I'm sorry if that came across at all. But
I'm eternal nervous. We're just both hiding it really well.
Any last words before I throw you into the web?
I think in terms of streams, the only thing I want to shout out for now, because my schedule isn't super solid. Actually, two things, if that's okay. Okay. On Monday, if anyone plays Final Fantasy XIV, I've been struggling with You might know what I mean by second coil turn 9. it's a really hard raid that half my chat. I'm doing it synced, and every time new viewers come in, they're like, "Why are you doing this?" It's known to be one of the hardest things in the game. We're trying with viewers again to beat it on Monday.
That is like a foreign language to me.
It's been a time. It is exactly. It's just pure hell, basically.
The coil endurance streams. I have no idea what you're talking about, but check it out, you guys. That sounds fascinating.
If you want to see someone screaming at challenging parts of a game, this is your time. And today I might be doing more Fire Emblem or Fire Emblem songs on flute tonight. I just haven't decided which yet, but yeah. And in case there's people that came over from my channel as well, do you want to shout out anything cool coming up?
Not really. I don't really have my schedule decided for next week yet.
You have to follow Ami then, because then you can find the schedule when it comes out. So now you have to follow.
I'm definitely playing Zelda Oracle of Seasons on Monday, and then I have a membership stream, but that's pretty much all I've decided for next week.
So now you also have to join membership.
Well, you don't. I don't even know what I'm gonna do for the membership.
You have to join and find out.
No pressure. Okay, thank you guys so much for coming today. I know I probably missed some super chats and stuff like that, but I will get to them on Monday when I'm back to streaming again. And if you guys cannot get enough of Pam, she's gonna be streaming later today, so make sure you check her out. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming and making time for us. I had a lot of fun, Pam. Thank you so much, and thank you Pam-ployees.
Yes.
That are here.
And thank you Buckles.
Thank you Buckles too. Thank you guys so much. We will see you. Pam will see you later if you want her. And I will see you on Monday, okay?
Yeah.
Otsukaresamiya, oyasumiya. Do you have a sign off?
I usually just say bye.
Bye.
Bye.